Hey 49ers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, let's take a look at a 7-round mock draft, all surrounding our San Francisco 49ers. We're going to go through every single Niners pick based on a draft simulator, and I'll tell you guys who I took in terms of each and every pick here on the 49ers report. Let's go ahead and jump right in for the overall view. All right, so first off, we know 49ers do not have a lot of picks in this draft. They traded for Dee Ford, and they traded for Emmanuel Sanders, basically giving up all of their day 2 drafts, meaning they have 6 in total. So, number 1 is going to be your 31st overall pick. There's your first rounder. No second, no third, no fourth. They have 138 via Denver, 159 as well in the 5th round, 191 in the 6th, and 194 and 223 in the 7th, although those later round picks can change a little bit based on draft order here over the next couple of days and weeks, but that's a rough look at where the Niners in terms are drafting on days 1 and day 3, as they have 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th overall, giving them 6 total picks. So the question, first off, before we jump in, the Niners are a trade-back candidate, aka at 31 overall. If they do not like any of the players left on the board in night 1, they could be trading back to try and get up a 2nd or a 3rd or a 4th round draft pick, because as it stands right now, there will not be a lot of additions in terms of draft picks on this team because they only have 6 right now. So here's what I did. I went ahead and used the Draft Network Simulator. You guys can Google that, and you guys can do your own Draft Network Simulator. I set it to do a full-on mock draft where it auto-picked for all the other teams, and then I got to pick for the 49ers, so we're going to go ahead and get into exactly what I got. Before we go, though, quick ad break here on YouTube. Don't worry about the ads. Scroll down, answer this question. What is the 49ers' biggest need in the 2020 NFL Draft? Let me know down below. All right, so with the 31st overall pick, our 49ers, in my mock draft, I had them select Grant Delpit, the safety out of LSU, the best pure safety in the draft, arguably in 2020. An excellent pick. If he's there, this is who they have to take at number 31 overall, in my opinion. 120 total tackles during his career at LSU, 7 sacks, 8 interceptions, 2 touchdowns returned. And if you look at the depth chart, this is why we went with the safety like Grant Delpit, because Jimmy Ward is a free agent. Now, they could technically have re-signed Jimmy Ward before the NFL draft, because free agency is before the draft. But if they don't, and really even if they do, I could totally see them going ahead and taking Grant Delpit. He might have been the best player available. I think he was the best player available overall in terms of who was there at number 31. Now, I'll let you be the judge. Here were some other players that were on the board when I was picking in my draft simulator at number 31 overall. J.K. Dobbins, the running back out of Ohio State. Justin Jefferson was there, the wide receiver out of LSU. You had Damon Arnett, Julian Okwara, and T. Higgins, the wide receiver out of Clemson as well. A lot of good players still left there. You could have gone wide receiver like a Justin Jefferson and a T. Higgins if you really needed one. Maybe that's where they go at 31, but I would argue if you even lose Jimmy Ward and Emmanuel Sanders in free agency, I would still go for the safety Grant Delpit, because he could be a generational type player there on the backside of a defense. He can play in the slot. Means that's what a lot of safeties do these days. They go up and can, play in the slot in a nickel defense. He can also get inside an 8-man box and go ahead and help stop the run as well. He is an every down safety, one of the best in the league, and had a lot of great experience over there at LSU. Now, what do you guys think? Was I right? Did I get the right player in round 1? If you were drafting with these guys left available, would you have taken Grant Delpit? Who do you guys want in round 1? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, you guys want to bet on any live sports over the next couple of days and weeks during the NFL offseason? Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code 49ers has you guys hooked up for a 120% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. So you want to bet on basketball. The Masters are coming up pretty soon. NCAA basketball, NBA, soccer. There's a ton of great sports to bet on, and our friends at BetDSI will help you guys out. Again, chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code 49ers to get a 120% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Now, we mentioned that we're going to do every single pick here, but it's a little bit faster than a normal mock draft because we just skipped rounds 2, 3, and 4 because the Niners have no picks in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. Now, that can change for a draft day trade, but now picks are rounds 5 through 7. You kind of got to pick on position and not really on player, because I'm not as well versed as the scouts are with the 49ers. They'll have their favorites on day 3, but I went around and picked my favorites overall. I wanted to go ahead and get a wide receiver, so with the 138th overall pick, and again, these picks could change a little bit in terms of 138 or 139, but the first pick in the 5th round, I take Antonio Gandy-Golden, the wide receiver out of Liberty, 6'4". He has great hands and catches everything that is thrown at him, a great outside player. player. Lacks a little bit of route running ability, which you expect coming from a college like Liberty. But in 2019, how about 79 catches? 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 17.7 yards per catch. And in a depth chart that could lose a guy like Emmanuel Sanders to free agency, this would allow you to still bring in another wide receiver in the draft, even as a 5th-round pick. Antonio Gandy-Golden, the wide receiver out of Liberty, was my choice. Here's some other guys that were on the board. You had Nick Coe, you had Devin Duvernay out of Texas, the wide receiver, Julian Blackmon, the safety, and Miles Dorn, the safety as well. I thought about Duvernay, but he's 5'11" and really struggles in terms of overall power and catching ability. So it looked to me like Antonio Gandy-Golden, from my scouting research, was the best wide receiver available. I went ahead and took him in the 5th round with the 49ers' 2nd pick in this mock draft using the mock draft simulator. So when we get to round 5, what position would you guys have them go for? Type W down below for wide receiver. Type C down below for cornerback. Cornerback. Type O down below for other as well. I'm curious what you guys think. I wanted to go wide receiver here before I went corner, and the wide receiver's value is a lot better than the corner value because just a couple of picks later, round 5 again, the Niners have another pick, and with this one, I went ahead in my draft simulator and took A.J. Green. No, not the wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is A.J. Green, the cornerback at Oklahoma State. 6'1", he has a good physical man coverage, press coverage kind of a player. One of the top-rated PBU players in the Big 12 in 2018. He had like 11 pass breakups in 2018. He has the ability to play on the outside in the NFL. Now, he can get beat up a little bit. I mentioned being physical in terms of one-on-one bump and run coverage. He can get beat by some more physical wide receivers, but for the 5th round, this seems like a really great cornerback the 49ers could go ahead and grab and put him behind a guy like behind a Ahkello Witherspoon, or obviously Emmanuel Mosley, or maybe Richard Sherman in a couple of years. They're strong right now at corner, but with question marks to Mosley and Witherspoon, you might have to go ahead and take a cornerback in this draft. Other players that were considered: Nick Coe was still there, Miles Dorn was still there, Reggie Floyd, the safety, was there as well, A.J. Dillon, the running back, and Gabriel Davis, the wide receiver. But again, I like the value of taking a cornerback here with the 2nd, 5th round pick the 49ers have. That way, at this point, you've had a safety, you've had a wide receiver, you've had a corner. Those to me are the 3 big needs for their 49ers besides offensive line going into this draft. I don't think we can fully trust Ahkello Witherspoon to be the backup cornerback on the outside behind Emmanuel Mosley going into 2020 and 2021. So I think a corner here like A.J. Green is an excellent pickup for our 49ers. Have you guys subscribed? A lot of you guys did this past week. We just hit 15,000 subs on our 49ers channel here for Chat Sports. If you've not subscribed, click the red subscribe button down below, and that way you are notified whenever we have the latest videos dropping here on the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and grab a sweet 49ers hat for the summer, as there's like a bunch of great official 49ers gear on sale at chatsports.com/49hat. 20 to 30% off. You see them being flashed on your screen right now. It's all authentic, and they're all on sale. Link in the description down below. Go ahead and get you a hat for the summer and all those summer trips out there in Southern California. Hopefully you're coming from Northern California and going to play on the beach. All right. 3 more picks. 6th round, 7th round gets a lot more difficult here. A lot of names you guys might not recognize, but with the 190th pick overall, I took Carter Coughlin, the defensive end out of Minnesota. Now, I know offensive line was a need, but I saw Carter Coughlin. I went, wait a second, this guy's 6'1". He's super quick off the ball and very, very quick hands and great bend around the offensive tackles. A little odd with his hands. That's why he'd be a 6th round draft pick, but he's a good projected defensive end out of Minnesota. 22.5 sacks in his career up there for the Golden Gophers. 8 forced fumbles. This is a guy that could come in and learn underneath the Nick Bosa, learn underneath the D Ford, and maybe be a replacement in the future for Eric Armstead, who might leave in free agency. Again, we're trying to fill some holes here in case we lose players in free agency. Other guys on the board, I mean, if you wanted to get like a Quintez Cephas or a Chase Claypool out of Notre Dame, if you needed another wide receiver, Travis Gibson was there for the defensive end out of Tulsa. But overall, as you see, I liked my choice of taking the wide receiver earlier on, the Gandy-Golden earlier on, and now going ahead and get a pass rusher who might turn out to just be a practice squad guy, but could be a depth role player for our 49ers as they try and re-bolster and rekindle that 49er pass rush. As we keep going, I finally took in the 7th round at 194 overall, an offensive tackle in Terrence Steele out of Texas Tech. He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. He needs to get a little bit stronger in every place but his legs, but has a very good base and was a good starter there for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. A 7th round pick. He's a a work-in-progress offensive lineman. But you remember, Justin Skule was taken late in the draft last year and got to start at left tackle for Joe Staley's injury just a couple of times. You see the depth chart there. Everyone is expected to be back, even Joe Staley, despite the fact he is getting up there in age. No announcement on his retirement, so this could be a depth signing, a depth pick that you then push forward to the 2020, maybe 2021 future whenever Joe Staley does end up letting go. I like to have the competition between a second-year Skule and a first-year Terrence Steele, the offensive tackle out of Texas Tech. Final pick, and again, this will be the second to last pick in the NFL draft, so you get down there way late in the 200s. And I actually went ahead and take another safety, Jordan Fuller, the safety out of Ohio State. In the 7th round, you're not going to take best available, and Jordan Fuller had fallen in this mock draft that I did. He's a natural athlete. He can play in the slot, a lot like Grant Delpit, but needs to get better in terms of tackling overall, and that's why he's a 7th-round draft pick. 161 tackles in his career at Ohio State, 5 interceptions, 0 forced fumbles, and again, you put him up on that depth chart in the secondary. He's just, a depth guy who maybe could turn into an actually legit player for our 49ers later on in the future. Some other players that were still available. You could have gotten Lipscomb, the wide receiver from Vanderbilt, Aaron Parker from Rhode Island. There were still a couple cornerbacks on the board. Chris Williamson, the cornerback from Minnesota, could have paired him up with a former Minnesota teammate we just drafted a couple of picks ago. But overall, I like the taking of Jordan Fuller as another safety to add to a secondary that's good right now, but 2 or 3 years from now could look a lot different than what it is or what it was in the 2019-2020 season. So that, to me, would be a very good mock draft for our 49ers. And again, I use this mock draft via the draftnetwork.com, I believe. Yeah, draftnetworksimulator.com, where it basically simulates the draft. And there's some weird picks overall, but in terms of who was available for our 49ers with their 6 overall picks, I loved the majority of them. And I think that Grant Delpit and then Gandy-Golden as your second pick in the 5th round is a beautiful combination. You still get the wide receiver in case Sanders leaves, and you get the safety in case Jimmy Ward leaves, and if none of them leave, you have some great depth and young players who might become stars here in the future. Grade my mock draft. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below how'd I do. A+, B, C? It's the first of many 7-round mock drafts we'll do here for Chat Sports in terms of covering our 49ers. One last look at my depth and what I got. Grant Delpit out of LSU, 1st round. 5th round, Antonio Gandy-Golden from Liberty. A.J. Green, the cornerback from from Oklahoma State. Carter Coughlin, defensive end out of Minnesota. Terrence Steele, the offensive tackle out of Texas Tech. And Jordan Fuller, the safety out of Ohio State, to me is for only having 6 picks, is a pretty darn good draft. If John Lynch wants to call and get some, information and help from me, I'm more than willing to go ahead and help him out. But overall, this is just fun, right? It's draft season. We can start doing these mock drafts. I wanted to get you guys one, though, that way you can kind of have an idea of what we might be looking at in a 7-round mock draft. All time we have for today on the 49ers Report. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Plenty more coming in the next couple of days and weeks. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.